WCPT
We're going live because that's how we do. Think so. There we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show. Johnny Million is live with me on camera on the stream for the first time ever. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think so. If you're not in the studio, this doesn't happen.
This is the only way it happens, right? But I'm so glad to just see you. As you know, any level of contact is welcome at this point, even if it's virtual in every way.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'm feeling especially clingy.
Are you? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is something I'm not full on getting into the crying at commercials. I don't cry at every commercial, but pretty damn close. Oh, there we go. Sorry, that's the sound effects guys doubling up.
One of my friends just posted on Facebook that he is at the point of the lockdown where he's buying picnic benches for squirrels, and it's freaking adorable.
Oh, that's actually... That's a
thing? They
thing?
sit right at the bench and they eat right at the table.
Aww.
I'll send you the screenshot, right?
Aww. I'm now in love with that. I don't know how it works, right? But it's my.
I might be able to share it here.
I insist. So we have a lot to pick through, young man. Today.
Oh my God.
There is it's adorable. Oh, yeah, there I see it. Picnic basket for squirrels. That's great. I can't believe you wouldn't make those in wood shop.
Right?
Yeah. So you heard the shot heard around the world.
At first, I thought this week was going to be all about the Las Vegas mayor. I really thought that was going to just take everything over.
That was going to be our whole show, right?
Yeah. Because there's so much to unpack.
No. Well.
Nope.
Because of the certain just level of crazy, you mean, in general?
Yes.
No,
I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah. Leave it to Trump to spike the ball on that. Like, in the week where the governor of Georgia wants to reopen massage parlors with social distancing rules.
And bowling alleys.
Yeah, bowling alleys.
It's only high touch things. Places where you're afraid to go to when there's no pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. Places where you normally get warts and STIs and weird stuff already. Just, I mean, it almost sounds like one of Trump's theories. Like maybe the bigger diseases will beat the smaller disease. You know what I mean? Like novel coronavirus is the new kid on the block, and the hardened old lifers in the prison yard will beat the snot out of it.
We'll just shine some really bright ultraviolet lights on them.
And I am certain that Trump somehow thinks he's beating coronavirus simply with his stage 4 syphilis. That's my own. By the way,
I'd like to see them duke it out.
Yeah, right. Well, they very well may be. We'll need a microscope and the same stuff that people wear at Gallagher shows. But I can't.
We're Gallagher too.
Yeah, or Black Gallagher, which is the third Gallagher that exists.
Did you know that there's an AC/DC tribute band in Illinois called Black Angus? And you'll never guess what their
hook is. Don't spoil it. I'm never gonna figure it out. They throw steaks at the audience.
Exactly. No? They bring a cow out.
Yeah, right.
No, their Angus is black, and it's awesome. He's really good. Black Angus, though. I mean, come on.
How do they not get a sponsorship from the steakhouse?
I don't know.
It's incredible. So. Yeah. This is the week. I'm going to play a bit of audio / video for those out in the who's at home. And in this clip, now the story so far is that the president, we're not going to start, I'm going to do a little bit of reversing the timeline. I'm going to go a little Back to the Future 3 on this. In that
we kind of have to.
Or Memento, I suppose. We're going to go straight to the president defending what he said. Then we're going to go back to him saying what he said.
This will be interesting.
And then we're going to play him repeating what he said after he defended what he said like he never defended it. which is the part everybody is leaving out. Okay, so here's...
okay, I'll get into it, then people still defend him.
In spite of everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Check this out. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get this going. Hold on.
I was asking a question sarcastically to reporters like you, just to see what would happen. Now, disinfectant for doing this.
Should I be hearing it?
Hands would work.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, you should. That's my bad. Hold on one second. I'm gonna.
That's okay if I can fake it.
No. The main part of what he was saying is that he's he was defending washing the hands. The disinfectant on the hands is a good thing. And he was asking questions sarcastically. This is the sarcastic part of it. Oh, quit it. Go back to where I was. So his defense was it's sarcastic. This is the whole issue. So the question most people would have in that circumstance is, was it indeed, was it indeed sarcastic? And I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. And what I'm going to, and how I'm going to defend that is by showing the original statement by Trump, wherein he says this is this is the original audio and video of him saying what he said. Okay. That he allegedly being sarcastic. There you go. Oh, we got dance music again. Hold on one second. All right, here he goes. This is it.
Supposing we...
Oh, I heard it.
Oh, nice. Oh, I don't know why it stopped. I stopped hearing it, so that's their thing. What? Oh, I'm getting hit with audio issues. What are you doing, you crazy thing?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It does not want to open. It does not want to play.
Wow, I just want to keep playing the next video.
Yeah, it does. That's really weird. So here we go. It's the Russians. I believe it's the Russians. Okay, here we go.
Oh, you had to scroll through to a point. I see.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. Whoa. You see that?
Again?
That's so weird. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. They're probably blocking that video from happening. Okay. Hold on. Quit it. That's so odd. What a strange effect.
Quit it. Ow.
I can't quit it. I need to do it. So this is so odd. Quit it.
What if you do like a refresh on the browser so it forgets who you are?
I think I got to do that. So let me quit this out and we will fix this weird thing. Well, this is the Trump suggesting. Oh, it's just looping through its thing. It didn't want to do it entirely. So in it, Trump says, "I meant it sarcastically. I didn't mean to say this. Like I was messing with the press."
Oh, good. Good time. Good time to do that.
What was his defense in this whole situation?
Messing with your mind.
Yeah, man. You got to get it. You got to understand what I'm saying here.
You'll never be able to. You don't know me, see? You don't know what's going on.
Suddenly we've got the, President Manson suggesting to people that they, in all seriousness, that they blast the people's systems with, see that? That's so weird.
Like ultraviolet light.
Yeah, with ultraviolet light. I'm gonna reopen that page in a second. So everybody heard it. You're gonna blast it with ultraviolet light, and then he follows it up with, let's inject the disinfectant into people's lungs. Perhaps there's a way of adding that disinfectant, right? This is like his sort of response to this whole thing, right? Is the idea that I'm gonna get this clip up if it kills everyone here. So in doing so, he makes it is very clear. I gotta stop screen sharing for a second. Okay. And then we'll do this. He is talking to Deborah Birx directly. He is by no means messing around with any of this. By no means is he. There you go. Ingest household chemicals is is his advice. There you go.
Yeah.
So, in doing this,
I think I found the video here.
Oh, you have the video of it?
Wait, so. Save the world, Devin.
Yeah. Play it for us and see if it's the part I'm talking about. So, and then I'll bring up the other clips again in a way that's not being. And I'm not hearing it from you yet, but I might eventually. So
into that world, which I find to be very interesting. So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting.
which is
where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole concept of the light, the way it kills it in 1 minute, that's pretty powerful.
That's
Pretty specific, dude.
Sorry, I'm getting a bounce back from. There you go. Thanks. Yeah, if you listen to the tone of his voice, there is nothing in that suggests in any way that
No, and he
was.
keeps double checking with his experts. He's
Yeah,
like, right. We're going to test that too, right?
Have you guys maybe, I don't know, have you possibly thought about a situation where perhaps you might
can shine a light inside the body and right into the lungs there?
Just put it right inside their guts, and so there's nothing even remotely sarcastic about that. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to play for everybody if I can bring it up, and I will be able to. I will fix this.
You will.
His fallback response in the same thing where he said he was being sarcastic, where he describes the process again afterwards and says, you should think about it. We'll be back. It's the House of Marks radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk, now with 100% and 110% more Johnny Million.
At least.
Yeah. And in a shirt that I also have, and if I had time, I would run and get it. You're awesome. We'll be back right after this. Hi, chat room. Good to see you. Let's see. I will bring up. Let's see.
That happens when you blur my background.
Oh yeah, it's nice. It's very impressive.
Can we do the thing that you can do on Zooms where I do a fake background?
In Skype, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Only if you have a green screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
I do right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Should I turn my subtitles on? I don't like that.
What a crazy idea.
Yeah. Audio and video settings. Let's look here.
Oh, that got louder. That was interesting.
Oh, sorry.
No, not necessarily in a bad way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my settings are fine.
So, good morning, chat room. Hi, everybody. Hello. Hope you're doing good.
Good morning.
I'm just so glad. Like, this is. It's nice to have you on here. Like, be able to see you. You know. Yeah, and I'll find this clip while we're waiting. Hold on. History. I'm going into my history.
You know, in his Small World stuff, I was just looking at this tweet that I saved that cracked me up. Karen Kilgariff, do you know her?
Do I?
Because she knows Matt Dwyer.
Oh,
We go
that's
live in
wild.
60, guys.
Yeah, so like, Karen Kilgariff is one of my favorite murder ladies.
Gotcha.
And I'm a big fan of that podcast. And then, like, in the early episodes, they just start, like, talking about, like, I was talking to my friend Matt Dwyer the other day, and he's got a new comedy album out. And I was just like, oh, my God, that's really Matt Dwyer. That was really fun.
Right. Yeah, it does not want to play in this, so I've got to figure out some other way.
If you want to tell me what it is, Hal, I can try finding it for you while you're gone and get it up here.
It's in his signing thing for the when he participates in signing on YouTube. It says President Trump participates in signing ceremony. It's near the end at like 38 minutes in. Around that, he starts describing his hands as a hard surface.
Okay. Hands is hard surface. I'll be right on there. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Doris Davenport, host of The Doris Davenport Show. All local, all the time. Now let's get back to Hal Sparks' radio program, Mega Worldwide.
Yeah, let's, while we're at it.
Yeah.
Do we have a bit of an echo in the system? I think the echo was from Chicago. Well, that's just because they were checking on audio for us. Fear
Right.
not, all is well. So let's be abundantly clear. Rick Wilson has that book, Everything Trump Touches Dies.
Yeah,
if you're familiar with the book,
great.
it's very good. I don't know if you've read it, but it's worth a read. And if you're as involved in it and the story of what's going on as we are, honest to God, you're not going to learn anything new from almost any of these books, right?
Right.
So, in the process of dealing with, let's say, the oil price crisis that was happening, right leading up to us all entering quarantine, the Russians and the Saudis were playing a game of chicken where they were trying to make each other buckle under the pressure of the how low the other could go on price. So they were flooding the market with oil to try and burn the other one out.
Okay.
And this was driving the price of oil down. It was freaking everyone out. It was clearly an entirely economic war. Basically, it was economic warfare that they were effectively trying to do with oil. What we did with the Soviets on nukes in the Cold War. That we were trying to we'll spend more on nukes than you can afford to spend on nukes. Oh yeah, we'll buy more nukes than you. You'll never have more nukes than us. Oh yeah, well we're gonna keep buying and buying and buying. Well, you can't possibly buy enough, and back and forth. And then not only that, my favorite part was we each bombed ourselves more than anyone else. So it was like the two biggest bullies on the playground punching themselves in the face. To show everybody else how tough they were. It was hilarious. But
and by hilarious you mean terrifying.
Yes, absolutely, and nearly world-ending. So the Russians thought they would. The lesson that they took away from this whole thing was maybe that'll work with oil. They started doing this with Saudi Arabia, and Trump decides to step in and go, use the art of the deal, and he's going to settle all this, right? He's going to help them figure it all out, and he's like, I think the oil was at $20 a barrel. I think oil by the end of this is going to be at 23, 25. It needs to go up. We got to save the industry by getting this to 23, 25 minimum. I think that's where it's going. He was signaling to the markets that's where it was going. And where did it go? Negative $30 a barrel. They were literally, they would pay you $30 to take a barrel of oil off their hands. There was so much oil sitting in so many tankers, and they couldn't stop production. There was nowhere to put it, so they would pay you to store it. Just get rid of it. It's it was the government cheese of oil pricing. So that's what happens when Trump gets involved. Of course, this is also the week where Trump said that Kim Jong-un, who they were saying had a cardiac issue and was airlifted or actually wasn't airlifted. He was driven to a secluded resort location and Chinese doctors were flown in to try and save him.
Wow.
And Trump said that's old news, old documents, and it's probably not true. The Jerusalem Times is reporting now that he is in a vegetative state, which in old Russian speak means he died 3 days ago.
Right.
And they're
Like every time.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, I saw on Twitter, you're like, I'm calling it. He's dead.
yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, if they're talking about him, even you have to think about the terms. If they're daring to
Like,
say,
why even bring it up?
right? No one would dare even chance mentioning anything wrong with him if he was ever going to live again or run things again.
So the only time like a serious illness can come up is when he's already dead, and they're like, all right, we're going to have to start soft feeding this to everybody.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then this. So far, Trump has intervened in oil prices and driven the price down to negative numbers for the first time in history. He actively, for whatever reason, chooses to send major well wishes to the leader of North Korea when he hasn't been able to name drop an American COVID victim or an American frontline healthcare worker. He could name drop,
Not a single one.
Not a single one. And in the same time, so the oil is dead, Kim Jong-un is dead, and then right when you're like, well, at least he can't possibly say anything dumber.
I found that clip in the hard chance.
You found, okay.
What do they say? Hold my beer.
Yes, right, yeah. So he says, yeah, so play. This is his response. So he had apologized. He had said what he said about blasting the body with light, trying to get the light up the keister, trying to inject people with disinfectant into the lungs to try and see if that would sort of do a cleaning out.
You know what? Just to be devil's advocate, I want these things to work. I'm going to go get the light treatment and just shine the light in my lungs to help clean me out. I mean, that'd be great.
Well, here's the thing. Dr. Birx went on television and defended him, saying, well, he hears these things and his brain starts working on it before he's sort of figured it out. I'm like, well, that's why you shut up until you figure it out. Because, and it would be one thing if you go, like if he came out and he said, the newer tanning beds don't have the bad UV lights in them. They have the good UV lights in them, and you can improve your vitamin D content in your body with that. And vitamin D is necessary for the support of your immune system, specifically fighting back respiratory issues. And that might be a positive thing. He's gonna avoid the spray tan and go straight to laying in a tanning bed again, just to benefit. But he didn't. He was talking about like somehow sticking a light bulb up your keister. For some reason.
Moon River.
Using your whole hand there,
using the
Doc?
whole fist, Doc?
Yeah.
Thanks, Doc. You ever serve time?
So he suggests that, and then he suggests injecting disinfectant into the lungs because in his mind, humidity, light, and disinfectant kill it in a minute. Never mind the fact that if you watch that actual display where he followed up this keynote presentation by the Homeland Security guy, how their lab has been testing how long it lives on surfaces and the like. And the scariest part of it was out of the list of like how long it stays alive in droplets in the air for an hour. Floating in the air.
Terrifying.
For an
I don't like
hour.
that at all.
No. We're not even talking,
you.
like surfaces were the biggest scary part of it.
Yeah.
But in their own tests, 70 to 75 degrees, 20% humidity, it stays in the air for 60 minutes. Okay.
No, thank you.
What? And he wants everybody to just get out of their house and go back to work. What is the environment of most office buildings?
Yeah, right.
70 to 75 degrees, 20% humidity. And who doesn't walk through one 9 to 16 foot patch of air in an hour in an active workspace? Like,
the people I've crop dusted in an office is just proof enough.
Yeah, it just cooks the entire thing. Like, no more birthday cakes. It doesn't agree with you. When we come back, Trump basically makes the defense that if you use disinfectant on your hands, and I guess Purell is new to him. It's some sort of idea. By the way, soap is still best. You have to hear it. We'll be back right after this. It's the House Parks Radio
Is that the
program.
one that Devin's got up?
Yes, it is. Devin to the rescue. We'll be back right after this. It's the House Parks Radio program, mega worldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk. And just in case, it's just my computer freaking out and not wanting to play this, I'm going to call it up on my iPad and see if they're really just messing with it.
Right, they could be having. I remember, there'll sometimes be Instagram stories and things like that I'm trying to reply to, and it'll say message not sent because the person pulled it down.
Right. Yeah. So let's see. Dangerous new suggestions from the president.
So let's show you.
There's Mika. Everybody else is just going.
Supposing we hit the body.
And the Las Vegas mayor was like,
Whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it.
See where the loudest.
And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body.
I think the first post was best,
Yeah.
like
Hold
at
on.
the bottom.
Yep. I
Sorry.
should have. Let's see. There should be a way to patch this in somehow.
Have you tried hitting it with a broom handle?
Setting it on fire. Why
Yes.
didn't I think of that?
We
What a
got 3
brilliant-
callers, Hal.
Okay. How many, sorry?
3.
3.
Okay, thank you. I don't know why it's louder for Johnny coming from Chicago than it is me. Let's see. All right.
Well, I wasn't moving around.
This might be a mistake, but it might work miracles, so we'll see. Just going to try it.
Those are Trump odds. It might work, it might not.
Yeah. You may find that it does, and then in some cases, you might want to set fire to your head. Okay, so it won't work on that. Never mind. That was a bad idea. My iPad does not have a regular headphone out on it, so.
Oh, right. It's only got the.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Rebecca, for the super chats. I turned down the alert noises, but the video thing is still up. My hair is so flat, silly today. I don't know what's going on.
I can't do a thing with my hair.
No. Lucky you. You got the perfect setup for.
I do. I've been
Yeah,
cutting my hair
60
for
guys.
years.
Yeah. Let's see if I can.
That time I did not hear Devin.
No, he was very quiet.
In some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of lungs. So it'd be interesting to get that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors.
Okay, not sarcasm. Not in any way.
No.
Even could pretend to be sarcasm.
No.
By the way, we got 363 people watching in the chat right now, just on YouTube alone. So
wow.
give us a thumbs up, say hi, let us know you're there. Johnny's orange
This is
seats.
Tom Hartman, and you're listening to the Hal Sparks radio program, mega worldwide on Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT.
So let me play it loud and clear for everybody, and then I want to play. Devin's got the other clip. Here's the president again making his statement. Here.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too.
Ouch.
Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant. Knocks it out.
Listen to this.
In a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning, because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that, so that you're going to have to use medical doctors.
Yeah, that was not sarcasm. He was not talking. That was a brilliant idea he had.
Yep.
And it's insanity.
Thinking outside the box.
Yes, and then he comes back out and says, "I was being sarcastic. This is, you know, I obviously, and I was just doing it to see what it like, how you guys would respond. It was the most embarrassing pushback I have ever seen. Like." But everybody's been trapped in a moment where you know you're wrong, but you're still hanging on to right. Anybody who's been in a relationship has had that moment. But there's a huge difference between going out on a limb in front of the American people. And by the way, this is the guy brought to you by hydroxychloroquine, which he insisted the VA start testing on veterans and in veterans hospitals because he couldn't get private hospitals and public hospitals around the country to start doing it because they were under the state, state authority. So he tried to crowbar the VA into doing it, and then the results come back from that it helped no one, and the only effect it had on some people was that it killed them. That it was the reason they died. That it caused their death, and he didn't talk about it for a good long while. And then he brings it back because he got called out on the carpet about this nonsense. And Devin, can we play that little piece?
The disinfectant on the hands could have a very good effect. Now, Bill is going back to check that in the laboratory. You know, it's an amazing laboratory, by the way. It's amazing, the work they do. So he's going to check because a hard surface, this is a hard surface, I guess maybe depending on whose hand you're talking about, right?
What?
But this is a hard surface. And the disinfectant has an unbelievable, it wipes it out. You know, you saw it. Sun and heat and humidity wipe it out. And this is from tests. They've been doing these tests for a number of months.
It gets better.
And
it gets better.
the result, so that I said, well, how do we do it inside the body or even outside the body with the hands? And disinfectant, I think would work. He thinks would work, but you use it when you're doing your hands. I guess that's one of the reasons they say wash your hands. But whether it's washing your hands or disinfectant on your hands, it's very good.
Okay, so check me on this.
He never says anything really.
No. Well, what he did say right then was the same thing about getting light inside the body that he said at the press conference that he walked back as sarcastic. Because that was the opening salvo.
This is him. This is him walking it back.
Yeah, that's after
repeating it. He's repeating how awful it is.
That's what he said after he said he was being sarcastic. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, you saw a bunch of people play the clip in the news this week. You know, after he said it, because it was like, oh my God. He's, by the way, I've been live streaming his COVID nonsense. How do I use
his daily
it?
pressers.
Yes, his daily task farce pressers.
Yeah.
And every day. And he's not having one today. And yesterday he bailed out without taking any questions. Because the day before he suggested injecting people's lungs with disinfectant to try and clean out the virus or the rest of their body. He wasn't just saying the lungs. He was just saying, he said the lungs, it does a job on the lungs, but maybe you can inject it into the body to get it to clean it out. And then somehow getting the light inside the body, which I think is him. This is me being generous. This might be him trying to interpret far infrared light therapy, which has been used for other health issues. But certainly not treating or disinfecting or getting rid of infectious disease. You know what I mean? It's got it'll build the collagen in your skin, but it's not gonna it's not gonna wipe out strep throat. You know, it's not gonna kill staph in your nostrils by laying it. It doesn't work that way. And that's me being the most generous.
That's super generous.
Maybe, and I find it hard to believe that anybody in his group brought that up. So I think it's really just he thinks if sunlight kills it, then we just put people outside, like it's the tuberculosis epidemic of the 30s. We'll just put them out on the on the patio and see if the sunlight helps them breathe. That's what it reeks of that. And by the way, that didn't help. And when healthcare workers found out they had tuberculosis, they killed themselves back then. So yeah. Now I know we have a couple of calls. I'm curious if anybody is having the same response I'm having, or if they're just like, no, you misunderstand. What he meant was,
and you'll be able to see that this is when my headphones actually come out.
Yeah, right. Who do we have there, Devin?
First, we have Mike out in Chicago.
Excellent. Hey, Mike. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. All the years I've been watching you, it's the first time I've seen Johnny Million. He is the mystery man behind the other mic.
There he is.
Here I am.
You're very quiet. So, Chicago, can you boost him our direction? Thank you. Yeah, say again. He was saying hi, Johnny Man. Yes, we can hear you. Sounds good.
But listen, when Trump made that statement, the first thing came to my mind was when he mentioned dropping a nuclear bomb and a hurricane.
And a hurricane, right.
Oh, yeah, that is perfect correlation, Chicago Mike.
Yeah.
And then the other one is when he tried to make the excuse with the Sharpie on the hurricane.
Yeah, Alabama, when he used the Sharpie on the map to extend the hurricane zone to Alabama. Absolutely. The irony is that he was trying to push the idea that the damage would be worse and more, and by it not happening, I guess prayer had stopped it, or just his presidency.
Thank you, prayer.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Here's the other thing in regards to what he was saying about the light.
Okay.
Go stand in a corner, wrap yourself up from head to toe in Christmas lights, and turn the light on for a couple hours.
It doesn't work all the time, Mike, though. It only works when there's an eclipse and you have to stare directly into it. Remember, this is the guy who looked at the eclipse without glasses on, and thought squinting would solve it. It may only
be effective too if you're streaming live on Instagram when you do that.
Yeah, it is beyond him simply at this point being mistaken. There is an element to this man where he is so willfully uninformed, mixed with the fact that he is a lunatic. Honest to God, these are things that only a child comes up with, but because their brain is not fully formed.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like this is the great idea a 7-year-old
has. You
has.
roll your eyes when a kid starts just like riffing. You're
That's,
like, yeah, okay,
like,
right over, whatever.
Why has no one thought of that till now?
Yeah.
Maybe if I just.
Listen, before I get hung up on, could you seriously think about this episode from the other day, that this is the perfect opportunity for someone to say, this is where the 25th Amendment comes in at.
Yeah, people have to be floating that. They have to be. You're absolutely right. I appreciate the call, Mike. We're going to take a break. It is always great to hear from you. And you're absolutely right. Like, this is every solution he comes up with is the worst possible solution. I mean, even the write it out. Remember when he says, I got this friend who didn't even know there were over 120 countries. And like, yeah, you mean you. And then the other one was, like people are saying, why don't we just write it out? We just write it out or whatever. And then he slips in the middle of his press conference and says, that was the question I was asking Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx. Why don't we just write it out? And we're like, so you were the person suggesting this maniacal, idiotic solution, not someone else.
It was during a discussion, the idea came from the delinquent in the room.
Yes. Yeah, I
You
just
can
got
technically say I could have a discussion with Dr. Fauci about the moral code of the Bachelor Party, the movie, and
yes, of course you can.
and then we could say, I mean, there was a discussion with Dr. Fauci about Bachelor Party and how hookers and fire trucks really might help.
Right, yeah. And that's his argument. That's his argument.
Yep.
Like any discussion that happens. Now there's an element of, how functional the bicameral aspects of his mind are and whether or not he knows the voices coming out of his face are actually originating in his own head or if he thinks they come from somewhere else in the room. That's a debate for another day. We'll be back right after this. It's the Housemarks Radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT Radio. We're streaming at infotainmentwars.com. You can call us at 773-763-9278. And thank you, Natalie, for she's super chatted for the Johnny and Hal haircut fund.
Aw.
Or if you want us to swap haircuts, that's what's happening?
Can you do that with the green screen?
You know what? I tried to find a snap filter that gave me a bald head and it didn't work. It just didn't work.
Fine.
Yeah, I tried. Anyways, we'll be back right after this. This part of it is, Lynette brings up raking forests to fight forest fires. Remember?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. We should have a running list of Trump's dumb ideas.
He was criticizing California for not raking their forests.
Yeah, we'll ask for that when we come back. I'm going to ask for everybody to just tweet us all of Trump's
theories.
dumb ideas.
Trump solutions.
Yeah, hashtag Trump
together.
Yeah, it would, absolutely. Let's see. So let's see. Trump solutions. We've got raking forests to stop fires. Blasting people with UVC light.
The nuclear bomb and the hurricane.
Yep. Hold on. Injecting people with disinfectant.
The idea, it's all coming too fast.
Yeah. What was the other one? Let's see.
The hurricane?
Oh, yeah. Nuking hurricanes.
He had to have something about Chicago shootings.
Walk towards the light.
Back in 60, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. He thinks the voices in his head are people. This is true. You think he might have a unicameral brain? It's entirely possible. I mean, that's what happens when people have auditory hallucinations. Where the reason primitive man believed that he was getting messages from God initially was because his own ideas sounded like an externalized voice because his brain wasn't separated enough into two halves. It had just started, so it was new.
There's a whole lot of people who talk to God who had profound issues with their brain chemistry.
Oh, Joan of Arc.
Don't get me started on Joan of Arc.
Don't even. Oh, yes, windmills cause cancer, right. So, I mean...
oh, man.
Yeah. I guess that would be tear down windmills to cure cancer.
Now let's get back with Hal Sparks' radio program, Mega Worldwide.
We were we took it upon ourselves during the break to come up with Trump solutions. Hashtag Trump solutions.
Off the top of our head.
Off the top of our head, like what we could think of with the help of the chat room.
And Mike from Chicago.
Yes, and Mike from Chicago brought up this whole thing. Hold on, and so far we've got, and please, I'm welcome to hear more. Tweet us right now at Johnny Million, you're at J Million actually, Johnny.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I got to fix that. I
think that's my Instagram though.
Okay, well that'll work for now, I guess. at J Million on Twitter. or at Hal Sparks. Use the hashtag HSRPM. And with your hashtag Trump Solutions, tweet us all the dumb solutions that Trump has come up with. And these are the ones we have so far. Raking forests to stop forest fires. Blasting people with UV light. Injecting people with disinfectant. Nuking hurricanes. Tearing down windmills to prevent cancer. And I guess save birds. Save eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Save the eagles. Save the eagles by burning fossil fuels. Hydroxychloroquine, which definitely counts. And let's see, moat on the border. That's right. He did suggest at one point
a moat.
Buying Greenland. That's right.
Oh, this is endless.
There's a bunch. I mean, I thought we were gonna hit top out at like 9, but I have a feeling this is gonna go on for a while.
This is gonna be like the list that came out at the end of Obama's presidency when they're like, here are all the things that he accomplished.
Yes,
and it was just like mind bending, all of the different things that he either spearheaded or helped support.
Yeah.
And so this will be the same list.
Right, but not, yeah.
But not.
Somebody suggested Namibia. He didn't actually create a new African country. But, honestly, this is, okay, so, Kofifi, I don't know if that, yes, the invisible wall, the see-through wall. That's a good one.
Yeah, the see-through wall.
It has to be see-through, so people don't, because there was a problem with people chucking giant bales of drugs over them, and they would land on ICE agents and crush them. This is a good, solid list. LED lights causing orange skin. That if you go back to the original light bulb, because the new LED light bulbs make him look orange. Return to a regular.
That one.
Right. Return to regular light bulbs because you look better. Quinine. Did he suggest quinine for something? I'm just going through.
I think that's the hydroxychloroquine.
Yes, hydroxychloroquine. Yeah. It put UV lights on windmills. That'll. Right. The wall in general, this is true. Using the flu vaccine for COVID-19. That's right. He asked out loud, grown man, asked out loud at a meeting with health professionals, if you had a really strong flu vaccine, because it kills stuff, could you use that to kill the COVID-19? He was shocked that the answer was no. So flu vaccine to kill. Oh my God, there's so many of these.
Yeah, I feel like we're just scratching the surface too.
Yeah. So let's see. We got a couple minutes left. Let's grab one more call and see if they have one.
And I'm gonna Google stupid things Trump said. See what happens.
That's a great idea.
Old Bob just called.
Oh,
hey,
excellent.
old Bob.
Is it old Bob, or is he next up, or do we wait till the top of the hour to talk to him?
I got him right here.
Oh, great. Okay, awesome. Hey, old Bob.
Hey, Chucky, hide the dice. The old man's coming. Let's see here. Did you put on your list controlling storms via Sharpie?
Oh, yeah. Well, that would work. Yeah. Expand danger zones with Sharpies. Yeah. I think that.
It saved us all many times.
That's right. Alabama Sharpie storms. Sure.
Sharpie, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That would be the way that would be his solution to being called out for mentioning Alabama when it was not in the projected path of the storm. His solution was to add it to the projected path with a Sharpie. So that's a solution. Yes, we will publish this list, everybody, when we're done. This is and by the way, these aren't just stupid things he said. These are things that these are solutions he's coming up with. He's his ideas to fix things. It's got to be a specific list, otherwise it will go on forever. How you feeling, old Bob? You doing good?
Well, this is a changing week. For whatever time I have left, I will no longer be doing my own grocery shopping.
All right. Okay. I think that's wise.
A little incident, and let's put it this way: Tuesday was not a good day, and so we're shifting gears, boys. We're shifting gears.
Was it an angina issue, or is that TMI?
That came later. It was a double whammy. The first one was I passed out in the checkout line.
That's not a good place to do it.
No.
They charge you for everybody else's groceries.
Right? Yeah, they've got your debit card that just keeps it racking it up.
Yeah. So that was the first picnic, and then I think the second one was because I thought I had recovered and recouped.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, I was in error.
Yes.
So, excuse me,
Right, totally. So you're going to be staying home, and someone else, are you going to be ordering your groceries in, or is there someone bringing them to you?
Yes. They'll be ordered and dropped here.
What's your your system of choice in that? Is it Instacart? What are you using?
It's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's with one of the local chains a few miles from where I live. My brother-in-law has helped me. This is talk about a round robin. He lives in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't have a charge card, so he's going to pay for it. I'll reimburse him and blah, 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 blah.
Gotcha.
Well, week after next, we'll find out how this cluster works,
Right. Well, I am distressed. I got to be completely honest that you had the Tuesday. Hey.
I have had some wonderful years. So if I'm getting kicked in the tail, which I probably deserve, at this point in my life, I gotta live with it.
As long as you live with it, I'm fine. That's my only.
I have to. No. I have to live until I cast my vote this fall.
I understand. Well, drag it out as long as possible and just survive this whole thing. That's my rule. It's the getting to Christmas part of this. We have to take a break. But as my grandfather used to say, old Bob, I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry, and if a tree don't fall on me, I'll live till I die. And that's what we've all at least got to shoot for.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Be well, old Bob. We'll check in with you next week. Yes. Be safe. Okay.
Bye-bye.
We'll be back. Phew, that was a close one. That made me nervous.
Yeah, I did not want it to go that way.
Yeah, not at all. We love you, old Bob. Be safe and be healthy. We'll be back right after this. I'm going to have a musical request for you. I'm going to need you to solo on something for me.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So I'm going to send you.
Doodly.
Yeah, it's definitely a look at me. And I'm gonna need video of you doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show.
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah, just shoot it and I'll cut the takes together. It doesn't even have to 100% match what you're doing. Like you can just film the takes or whatever, and then that stuff, and I'll pop it together the way I'm gonna do it.
Just try to get it.
I'll tell you off air what it's gonna be. And by the way, let's see. Punch the hell out of them. I'll pay your legal fees. Right, paying the legal.
Yeah,
paying.
Yep, that's another good one.
Paying the legal fees of
I don't want to leave the brainstorming session, but I've got to go get another beverage. I'll be right back.
Yes, do it. I understand. Go for it. Not a problem. I'll stick around with the chat. It'll just be us. Let's see. Hold on. Main shot. Here we go. Yeah, it's just me. Hi, everybody. Yeah, my hair is very flat today. I just washed it and blow dried it and ran in here. I didn't do anything. Just kind of like, and I'm so like, how does it go? It goes this way. I'm getting backwards. I pay the legal fees for assault. This supporters assault. Just go through with it. You said another one, I am not my thoughts, and I missed it. It was, I have to scroll back and find it. Wish I was in Colorado. It's a prettier place to isolate than Joliet. This is true, Hal Vickery. I think one of the things we've all learned is that we have to look at our house as more of a fallback position.
Hal, we got 4 people that just called all of contributions to the list.
Oh, excellent. We'll grab them as soon as we come back. They should just drape meat over their faces and hands, Templeton. What was that from? Drape meat. What was that in reference to? Holy smokes. When did he... Like, some of these things I'm even shocked I don't know them. Trump. Drape meat over face. What? Let's see. I'm not finding it. I'm gonna have to. Maybe you're right. Running for president, clearly. I'll just. I alone can fix this. Yeah, the fact that he's the solution. Hey, Charles. I've got the Lyle Wagner look. That's not bad, I suppose. It's Natalie. It's PayPal.me/Hal Sparks. I'll put the thing up on the screen. I knocked off all the overlays while I switched. Johnny's back, so I'll jump in there with us. Is he in this one or is he in the Wish one? Is he in this one? No, he's in this one. Which screen? Oh, you're way down here. I made us. Yeah, there you go.
Hi.
Hi. There it is.
I had to get my fleece, my sweater.
He Cool Blue 32Q says I have young Rachel Maddow hair.
Aw.
I'm older than Rachel. Which is crazy.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's because we're the same age.
I know. That's the only reason I said it with any confidence.
For a solution for the meat packing closures. Really? Oh, that was me pretending to be Trump. I see. Okay, good. I was like, you have to understand, that was like, that could have been serious. Yeah. Thank you, Green Seeker 100. Thanks so much. Thanks for being you.
Green Seeker sounds like some sort of slur, and I can't come up with it. Look here, you Green Seeker.
You Green Seeker.
Seeker.
Yeah. I love Rachel, too. I beat her at basketball, and she's like a foot taller than me.
Wow.
And we played a game of horse on a cruise ship. It's a long story. Who else? And thank you, DC2257. Thank you.
Well, horse is arguably not like saying a game of basketball. I mean, it involves skill.
Mm.
But, like, she's not trying to block you while you're shooting.
Right. Well, we were also, we didn't just play horse. We were shooting as well, but I won that handily. Released a budget with a $2 trillion math error. These are not just the things he's done wrong. These have to be things that he thought were a good idea at the time. Like writing love letters to Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were beautiful letters. Get it right.
That's right. Beautiful letters. Falling in love with Kim Jong-un was really what he did. Remember, we fell in love. Some people will say.
Fell in love, really. The way to say everything.
And we've got some callers that called in, Johnny. They've got 4 of them with people who want to add to the list.
Yes.
So we're going to see if...
I've had people walk out of me before, but not...
I was being so charming.
Video streaming at housefarms.com.
I don't care for you or for the putrid sludge you're troweling out.
Get pus-faced little pimp stick.
True progressive talk.
Might be a good time for you guys to give up.
We've officially started something. Trump's solutions, hashtag Trump solutions, and the list is growing. We had people call in real quick. People have called in with your Trump solution. Let's go right through them. Devin, who do we have first?
Diane out in Arlington Heights.
Excellent. Hey, Diane.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. Don't forget the alligators in the moat.
Right. Moat alligators at the wall. Yeah, he suggested a moat with alligators at the wall.
You give teachers guns.
Right. Yeah, arming teachers. That's another. Yeah. But
yeah.
Alligators in the moat.
He's open. Yes. And he's opening the country, but he never closed it.
Right. Well, that's things using the Defense Production Act by not using it. That's another one. I think that officially qualifies. Thanks for calling in. Let me grab the next one because I know a bunch of people have they want to add them in, and I will get in there. So who's next, Devin?
Next looks like Holly on the north side.
Cool. Hey, Holly, welcome.
Hey, Al.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that the Lysol comment by Trump was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm waiting to see how many of his followers are going to end up in the emergency room that are
it's already
going
started.
to drink Lysol. I can't wait.
Well, you don't have to. There are already stories about it. There were reports in New York City. I'll look it up right now. New York, Lysol.
Yeah, the Daily News had a headline about it.
They had something like a ridiculous, like 200% rise. Yeah. Let's see.
Bob, where come from?
Yeah, there it is. New York City poison control calls for bleach Lysol double after Trump disinfectant comment. I'll find that one. There was a here it is. New York City poison. Wait, here is it? No. I'll find the story, but it has a list of the people who've called in. Oh, here it is. New York poison control sees spike in calls after Trump disinfectant comments. That in an 18-hour...
They've lost all sense of reason.
Yes. Let's see. Spokesperson for the Poison Control Center, a sub-agency of New York City's health department, says the New York Daily News had 30 cases of possible exposure to disinfectants between 9 p.m. Thursday and 3 p.m. Friday. That's more than double the amount for the same 18-hour period a year ago when the center received just 13 calls about it during that time. 9 calls, 10 were related to bleach, and 11 were about household cleaners in general. In last year's 8-hour period, none of the calls were about Lysol exposure, and only 2 were about bleach. So people found this is like usually they'll find like people come in contact with old batteries or stuff like that, or just crap around the house, and they get a big whiff of ammonia usually.
Sure.
But this in particular was that. So go ahead.
I don't understand how people can lose all sensibility and listen to him when he talked about the Lysol. I mean,
right, and defend him.
Insanity.
You got me.
No defending stupidity.
No, I think the biggest issue is I think they're so boxed in by needing to be right. Is the issue. Because a lot of this goes to the people just not wanting to admit that they were wrong about this guy, wrong about his capabilities, wrong about everything that he said, any more than he does. It like attracts like, and he has attracted a large group of people who believe that he is exemplary to them. And so not apologizing, not admitting you were wrong, none of that matters to them. And when you're in that position, the only option is to dig deeper all the time. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. I will. I think you're right about the Lysol thing being injecting it might be the craziest thing I've ever heard a politician do. Who do we have next, Devin?
Next, we're going to Jim in Evanston.
Jim in Evanston. Right on. Hey, Jim.
WCPT.
Hello, Hal.
Hey.
Listen, this.
Thank you for holding. Who am I speaking with?
Hold on, Devin. I can hear you in the background.
Trump Solutions.
Okay. Yes, Trump Solutions. Go for it.
This Trump Solutions is going to be a great campaign document in November.
Oh, yeah.
Let's publish it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And
No,
I
I'm
have
going to
one
post
to
this
add to
afterwards. Believe me.
I have one to add.
Okay.
I hear good things about Frederick Douglass.
Right. Like people should start listening to Frederick Douglass, that he's been doing a lot of great work lately. Suggesting Frederick Douglass work on a new problem. I think that would be the way to phrase that.
When did Frederick Douglass live?
100 years ago. Yeah.
150 years
Yeah,
ago.
150 years ago, 60, when he died, 1868? I want to say it was later than that, but I got to look it up. But either way, not living for a very long time is the whole point.
Right.
Yeah, he was a slave who escaped and wrote books about his slavery and became a politician after his life. He had I've heard great things about what he's doing lately. Anyways, so we suggest we should get Frederick Douglass involved absolutely. Appreciate it.
That's a good one.
Man. Yeah, absolutely. It's great.
All right, good going.
Thanks,
Good going.
guys. Absolutely. And I will post this on your recommendation. Who do we have next? He died 1895. That's what it is, not 65.
There you go.
Thank you.
Next is George on the south side.
Excellent. Hey, George.
Thank you for holding. Who am I speaking with today?
It sounds like all the good ones are taken. I've been trying to think of one. But I'm reminded of the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The actor who played the father. Windex was the solution for
he would spray Windex on everything.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was his thing. And actually the woman who wrote and starred in My Big Fat Greek Wedding posted on Instagram with a bottle of Windex saying, "This is not the solution."
Yeah, I think there's a
Bingo.
there is I love the stories, by the way, that are saying that Trump is quote unquote walking back his his statement about using injecting people with disinfectant. He's not walking it back. He's pretending he didn't say it. Somebody, I think even it was it Raw Story had a story where they were like, is Trump finally showing shame because he's not doing his press briefing today and because he didn't take questions? I was like, that's not shame. He's embarrassed. There's a difference. Shame is when you actually recognize you did something wrong and you feel bad about it. Embarrassed is just because you got pantsed in public. You don't blame yourself when you're embarrassed. He's not feeling shame. He's embarrassed and mad at other people for making him feel embarrassed. I don't think we're ever going to top that level of insanity. I was shocked. If anybody has seen the clip from the live stream I did, you can see me taking it in real time.
I need to go look at that because I started seeing. I try to avoid a lot of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time. The only time I hear him speak is on this show.
Right.
And when I started seeing memes from my friends in Europe that were laughing about disinfectants and Lysol.
Yeah, and you're like,
and I was like, oh no. And then I went to Google News and I was like, oh no.
Could I make a brief point, Hal?
Sure, go ahead.
Please.
Hello?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, you essentially made the point I called to talk about was, Trump is one of these obnoxious guys who's been a jerk his whole life, who operates under the philosophy, never explain, never apologize.
Right. Yep.
And what's been going on for the last couple of days is he's trying to explain. which means he knows down deep in the dark depths of his black soul that he's in real trouble.
I agree.
The problem is that as long as he's in the office, we are all in trouble. There's over 50,000 dead Americans, and it's probably close, somewhere between 75,000 and 100,000. He's got blood on his hands, and so does every Republican in any position of power, because they could have removed him or used the 25th by now, and our fellow Americans are going to keep dying until next January because he's where he is.
Yeah.
And one more thing about Lysol, it was, back in the day, in the first half of the 20th century, it was a common technique for abortionists to use Lysol to perform illegal abortion. And it got to be such a terrible problem that they had to put labeling on bottles of Lysol to say, in some kind of roundabout way, that this is not for that purpose. So we've known since the middle of the last century at least, that you don't introduce Lysol to the interior of a human body.
No.
It's beyond dangerous.
Yeah. He did. We did discover another one while you were speaking, though. He suggested water bombing Notre Dame. Bombing it with water. Remember when it was on fire? Flying over it with stuff and water bomb it. Yeah, which is
tons of water wouldn't collapse the structure.
Exactly. Yeah. So here's the thing: we are at 51,600. I mean, I have to check each time I say this because it continually goes up. And this is after 1 month. There is no way that he dodges that 100,000 number by the end of next month, based on the behaviors that people are picking up and going back out and doing regular stuff in all these places. It's just, there is no way. And his idea that somehow, this is just like the flu and we have this many deaths. We have this many deaths on top of the deaths we will have from flu, on top of car accidents and obesity and cancer and all those other things. He seems to think this is going to swap out the death toll this year and not add this amount to it. And the treatment of people who, require ventilators and require constant medical intervention, these folks are taking up those medical devices. I'm making the same mistake he does. Those medical devices that other people will need after a highway pileup or a chemical plant explosion or a tornado. And so that's the part that's maddening, is that he's just his talk about the numbers. Remember when he talked about the numbers of dead and how he didn't want the cruise ship to let his numbers go up? You'll add that to the number, and then it'll raise the 250 and the 11, he called it. That's the maddening part. So, anyways, we got to take a break. We'll be back. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. We'll be taking more suggestions of Trump's solutions, the dumb ideas he's had to fix stuff is amazing. I mean, do we count faking bone spurs, or did that one actually work? We'll be back. It
totally worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, putting Jared in charge of everything? Yeah. I mean,
my God.
Hold up the phone line, Sal.
I don't doubt it.
There we go.
Well, there you go.
Can you see Flora going into ecstasy because I'm scratching that spot on her chest?
Oh, totally. Look at that. Ugh. She's gonna drool. She's gonna do cat drooling.
No, she'll probably just stick her tongue out and start licking the air.
Right. Chud is so fat, she breathes through her mouth when she's purring too much, and she'll go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because she can't. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we can include in that Mike Flynn, George Papadopoulos, hiring Paul Manafort.
Yeah.
Come back in 60, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. and Carter Page. His solution, firing the FBI director. That was a dumb idea.
But it kind of worked.
Yep. Oh, choosing a military, choosing to have a military parade.
Because France had one.
Without checking the weather. Yeah. Without checking the weather. He bragged about that, asking Russia for Hillary's emails. That actually worked, though. That's the sad part.
Yep, a lot of these worked.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ron Calgill.
And this is Robbie Earhart.
And you're listening to the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
It's getting pretty long, this list. I thought we were going to chop out at 6 or 9. And these are specific. These aren't just dumb things that he's done. They're his ideas to solve stuff that other people hadn't thought of. And I guess you could throw in there like trade wars are easy if we get into the slippery slope of everything that's hard that he thinks is simple. But we've got other callers. We've got a bunch of callers on the line, so we're going to take those. This is what, relax, kids. This is our relaxing Saturday, okay? We're going to relax this Saturday and just take calls. People suggesting, what's...
And how happy is the mayor of Las Vegas right now that Trump talked about disinfectant?
Seriously. Who do we have next, Evan?
Next we have Alan out in Indiana.
Excellent. Hey, Alan.
Hey, how you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. What does Trump have to do with the price of tea in China?
I don't know. I don't know if the price of tea in China is affected by the $200 million in loans that he got from China for one of his buildings in New York that they did a special report on the New Yorker this week. Is that it?
What does Trump have to do with the price of oil? You lost me on that one.
He intervened in the trade dispute, in the oil dispute between Russia and Saudi Arabia, insisted it was he who made the deal to fix it, and days later it went to negative $30.
Well, they cut down the supply. The demand for oil went down. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah, but they were already in the process of doing this. I'm saying that whatever his input was didn't help. I'm just saying that it was at $20. It was at $20. All the world producers are going to start dialing it back. He didn't directly cause it. I'm just saying he was bragging about the impact that he had. He told us all he was confident that oil was going to be at $20 to $23 a barrel because of his interaction with this. And one of the reasons why the price went to -6 and then -30 specifically was because during his task force briefing, he said they're going to lower the amount of barrels they're going to by 20 million worldwide, with the inclusion of the 100,000 barrels from Mexico that he talked them into, the 250 from the United States that somehow, by the way, we're going to be reimbursing Mexico for drawing down. He said in that briefing that it would be somewhere between 15 and 20 million barrels in reduction. The reduction is actually 9 million barrels a day. Not 20 million barrels a day. And every time he got up there and said it was 15 to 20, that affected the futures on it. It bumped it up for a day, but when the reality sunk in that it was actually 9, that's what cratered it. So you can actually say that beyond him making that phone call and being completely useless on this, he actually was responsible for the futures cratering as badly as it did. Because he inflated it on television, basically saying the deal was for 15 to 20 million barrels a day when it was actually 9.
The futures are back up now, Hal.
Yeah, on their own because of the actual reduction, because of other things other countries are doing. But this is his input in this was to crater it at 30. His contribution to this whole thing was inflating the numbers of barrel that they were going to lower the production of to a number double of what they were doing. They've stabilized because people are slowing down production overall. But his faking that number and trying to exaggerate it for his own benefit caused the crater.
Hey, there's one up. Good job on answering. Another thing, Biden does agree with him 2 months after the fact that China closing down the flights from China was a good idea. Biden said that was good.
Well, the World Health Organization was saying that you need to move on from that and start working on your mitigation factors. They weren't against limiting flights, and by the time Trump had done it, we were 41st in nations in stopping flights out of China of any sort. We were also behind United Airlines, Delta, and American Airlines. They had all ceased flights on their carriers from Wuhan specifically, but from major places in China after that date. So they were ahead of us as well. And Trump's limitation, the problem with it is that it was only for non-citizens. So if you were a citizen in the United States, or you were married to a citizen, or you had just been traveling in China for that, you could still come in. 40,000 people still came in in the following week after Trump's so-called ban. And there's nothing that's more infectious or less infectious about someone because they are ethnically Chinese or do not hold a current work visa. Does that make sense?
Okay, it's an impact, but Biden does agree with it too much. At the time, he said it was racial. Biden said that it had no effect.
The limitation, no.
They were saying index cards.
No. The overall feeling was, that limiting travel. He agreed with the other 40 countries and the airlines and the Trump administration doing it. They just didn't go far enough. Trump, what was xenophobic and racist about what Trump did was that he limited it to only ethnically Chinese human beings coming from China, who were non-citizens. He was like, and that limitation alone was not enough to stop the virus coming in the country, and he thought it would, which is a racist response. If you somehow believe, how about, if it had started in Mexico, and he believed that only Mexicans coming in from Mexico could carry the disease, you would understand what I'm saying. Like if American citizens living there in Baja had caught it and came in, and he's like, well, they can't carry it. They're white Americans. That's ridiculous. That was the response he had to China.
Okay. What would Biden do? I'm going to change the subject since you're listening to me.
Yeah,
what would Biden do now? What would Biden do?
Well, he put out he put out an op-ed with a plan for mitigation and the reopening of the country and dealing with it. That op-ed was in the New York Times. It was in coordination with Gavin Newsom. That basically their plan are lockstep. Trump's plan came out a week later. They started talking about their reopening strategy a week later. He was a full 4 to 5 days before they even announced that they were going to do that. The mitigating strategy, he's just saying we need to have testing in place. We have to have both an antibody test and a PCR test available to everyone in some form or another. One, so we can start clearing people who've already had it, who are not, at least for the time being, contagious or can be affected by it. So those people can arguably go fearlessly back into the workforce. And then we also need to be able to track and trace. So that was the big element that they're not doing it in the current White House. They are absolutely not mitigating on that factor. And he's leaving and he would not leave it up to the governors and make them responsible for contact tracing and an overall testing system. He would coordinate it federally so that everybody had access to the materials necessary to do it. So New York's a rich state. California's a rich state. They can afford to buy their own PPE and buy their own swabs. Kansas and Missouri and Alabama will not. They will be behind the 8 ball on this, especially as they start running out of funds and can't run a deficit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. The degree of testing, I agree with you on. We need a national testing. absolutely makes sense. So,
Yeah, and that's I mean that's what by the way, all the people, yeah, absolutely. All the people in the pandemic response team that Biden and Obama put together when they were in the White House are coordinating with the Biden campaign and basically prepping and working with him. They basically got the band back together in that regard, and they've been talking to all the governors daily. And you'll notice that Trump started cascading, declaring emergencies for all these states, one right after another. There was like a domino effect. He was, day after, he did a few of them, and then there was like a group of 6, and then everybody. That was because the governors were calling the White House saying, we need this, because the Biden campaign, I'm calling the administration already because they're actually doing this, and their group, together with Cuomo and Newsom, were aware of what was necessary on a federal level to get them the funding that they needed and to protect them. So they were. If you need the federal funds to go buy your own stuff, Trump had to declare an emergency for you, and so they went back and got everybody to do that. And then as soon as that happened, by the way, the Trump administration started going, well, the governors are going to do this, because the governors all started ignoring him. And they all start coordinating in regional groups. So there's a 6 state group in the New York area. There's a Midwestern group. There's a West Coast group. Some of the red states in the middle are kind of on their own and just kind of blowing through it. But they've kind of created their own consortium of ignoring. But that's that effectively you're having like a 6-province regional effect, like we were Canada or China in that regard, where the regional governors associations are handling it. So, but we need a federal response, and the materials should be available, ubiquitous across the entire country, because you will not have full safe opening of the country without that. You need an antibody test available to anybody to find out that they've had it, and now they can move back into working freely and safely, at least with the information that we have. And then you need to start being able to test people multiple times, which we cannot do right now, who like medical professionals, people on the front lines, people who have come in contact. And then you need to isolate people during a quarantine window so that the virus can burn itself out in smaller and smaller sections. That's what Biden has recommended. That's what Newsom has recommended. They have been working with Cuomo. That's why they're having success. That's why they and Inslee are bending their curve as successfully as they are. I hope that explains everything. We went way into the break, but I appreciate you hanging around, and I think you were surprised that I actually listened, but that's what I do here. We'll be back right after this. It's the House Sparks Radio program, Mega Worldwide. We're at infotainmentwars.com, and we're the fastest growing liberal talk show on the interwebs. So, yay us. So join the fun. Patreon.com/HalSparks. Support the show. Come on, do it. You know you want to do it. It's a cup of coffee a month. It's the price of a cup of coffee a month. I mean, you can do that. And if you can't right now because of COVID and stuff, and you're a Patreon, please step back. Hang out until you can. No rush, no pressure. Love you. We'll be back. I have an antibody too. Woof. Well, I think I, laid that one down. I think it was pretty. That was,
yeah. I was ready to just dismiss him to Trollville, but he was listening too. So, caller, if you
that's right.
Appreciate it. My snarky,
snark and nards, my nads. What happened?
Yeah, forgive my nards on that one. You were here for a discussion, and I discounted you. So
no, it's okay. And again, even when they're not, there's a value to looking past them to the person over their shoulder. Like I said, you're talking to that person.
Oh yeah.
So don't let anybody's dictative, procedural idea of how they're going to talk to you and how they're going to control the whole conversation. You can find a way to communicate with that person in a way that the people who actually maybe even hold that person in high esteem or think that person knows what they're talking about, if you can, if you can puncture their tires and they thank you for it, that has more value ultimately than just going, I showed you. So yeah. So let me put this down here and the thing, put the thing and the thing. Whoops. Get back up. I am overwhelming my computer today. It's a lot of fun.
Can you touch it itself? Is it hot to the touch?
Yes, it is. Like in the back, you could iron something with it. Yeah, But I, thanks to our lovely Patreon supporters, I ordered an eGPU, an external graphics processor.
Oh yeah.
To offload the work of the stream onto
it's
that.
Like the audio interface that you have.
Yeah.
Is that Universal?
Yeah, the Universal Audio thing. It puts all the plugins in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super great.
That's a real upside to that unit. But
yes.
It's priced like you're buying another computer though, because it's another computer.
The Universal Audio thing. Yeah, it's a dick move. It doesn't need to be like that. If somebody put out, honest to God, we're coming back.
Back in 60, Hal, and you got full phone line still.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Somebody's in my chat room going, yeah.
Oh, do you have a chat room troll?
I had one for a second. No big deal. They show up. They're easy to deal with. There's some children among us. Thank you, Adriana. Johnny needs to reconnect. Does he? I think he's okay. Can you speak?
Check 1 2.
There is there's a little bit of jaggedness. I think it's my computer though. Like I said, once that thing arrives, it should arrive Wednesday. I should be able to, for next week's show, I should be able to offload the major work of it off onto that because it's a little staticky. Yeah.
I'm Dick Kay from Back on the Beat, and here is the Mega Worldwide Radio Program with Hal Sparks.
That's right. Such a good time we're having today. We have full phone lines because everybody wants to join us in our quest to find Trump's dumbest ideas when he feels like, because he's told us he knows more about ISIS than the generals. He knows more about taxes than the most genius CPA.
He knows more about Korea than anybody.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, he has. Let's see. There's a half-second lag. Okay, we'll fix that up. I'll fix it by changing screens and coming back. We'll see if that fixes it. But there is a. What else did he? He knows more about. Dr. John Trump was his genius relative. Yeah. He knows more about Iran than Iran does. That's true. He did say that. Amos says, keep the Johnny Million cam. He supports the Johnny Million cam, everyone.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Far nose picking going on.
Yeah, that's right. You got to keep track. Let's take another caller because we got a bunch of them. Who do we have, Devin?
That's right. We're on the air again.
Yeah.
Reggie out in Rockford.
Reggie in Rockford.
Reggie.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, Reggie.
How you doing?
I'm good,
I was going to say that I think this is just another media-created diversion. I mean, we're talking about Trump that's said in the past. I think the real groundbreaking story yesterday that the media covered up was a video from 1993, Larry King show called "The Corroboration."
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
I don't think it was covered up. But
no, I don't think. Yeah, I saw it, and I don't think anybody. I don't think that's the primary call in.
Hello.
I hear you. I don't think that's the primary cover-up story in anything.
Really? I've heard about it if it was covered up. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello. I like how this is going now.
Yeah.
So nobody's covering it. And
everybody covered it.
So
we saw
how
it.
we both heard about it if nobody's covering it?
Right.
That allegation.
And by the way,
that's bigger news than what Donald Trump.
Is it bigger news than the $100 million the $200 million of loans that he has from China?
So you don't want to have anybody else talk. Most of the show is you just talking.
Well, yeah, it's my show. Bye. Thanks, Devin. Next caller. Yeah. We have too many people on the line, so yeah, that's adorable. Okay, next one.
So how most of your talk show is just talking? It's just you talking.
Yeah, it is. It is mostly me talking. I will say that. Who else do we have, Devin?
Is up next.
Okay, cool. Oh, who is it? Sorry.
Robert out in Florida.
Robert in Florida. Cool. Hey, Robert.
Hey, I thought it was the Hal Sparks show. I didn't know it was the caller who just talked ramble.
Yeah, no. The bulldozer caller. No, yeah. Go ahead.
And seriously, he couldn't hear, and I'm sorry to drag this into your call, Rob from Florida, but how could he say it's being covered up if both Hal and I heard
about it? Right, we've all heard about it. Yeah. But anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Listen, let's not waste another second on ending June. Let's just keep going forward here.
Yes.
All right, so I think so. You guys got the hurricane fallout one, right? The hurricane bomb, the hurricanes. You got that one already? Yeah, all right. Then my wife said, what about the windmills? Remember when he said the windmills cause cancer?
That's right.
Yeah, sorry, we got that one too.
They cause cancer. Yeah, a lot of birds are dying, a lot of bald eagles are on the ground. Those windmills.
That's pretty good.
And
I can see your gestures.
What about when he said to rake the forest? Did anyone bring that one up?
Yes, we got rake the forest.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, but kudos to you for not hearing us say these.
Yes.
And just coming up with them all on your own.
Hold on, my wife just said this. You know what? He put these tariffs on Chinese imports, right?
Yeah.
Are we getting taxed even heavily more on these, these things that we need for the surgeons and doctors and, respirators and all those masks and everything like that? Are we getting taxed harder now because of that?
Well, I don't know that. I don't think medical devices or supplies are covered in tariffs or sanction stuff, so they get in just fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So that, but.
You said one thing about oils. I started to jump around on you, but
that's okay.
You just said something about California and Cisco and Venezuela. California's got to divest from Venezuela.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that one? About oil industry? Okay, what that is that, Saudi Arabia and Russia, the people he works for, don't want Venezuelan oil on the market. So they're trying to, and plus, that hurts our industry of oil,
Yeah, no kidding.
Crazy, dude. I'll let someone else talk.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you again.
Love you guys.
Yeah, I love you too. And I'm sorry, chat room. If there's a static thing, I don't know what that issue is. It seems to be coming from it might be clean feed. We'll do. I'm gonna reload my page, Chicago, real quick. Don't panic. Just go to break. It'll be good. I'm gonna fix that page. Yeah, I'm gonna try and fix that. I don't know why that guy was being part of it was being weird.
That sucks. That was a good call.
Yeah, no. It's an audio issue with just like there's something's too hot or whatever. Can you bring Can you bring yours down a touch and see?
I think I can. Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be what's. There you go. Just shave a little off of it. See if that. Because I've tried to bring it down on my end in almost every source and.
Audio video settings.
Check. There's one. There's two. Hey everybody. All right, that's a little better.
What about this? Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
You can bring it down even more because you're pretty loud, so it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's. Hang on. Let me see if it's.
Yeah, I don't know that it's an odd. I don't know that it. Let me see. It might not be a. Hold on. Let me try something.
Well, I turned off the automatically adjust microphone settings, but I still see. I wonder if there's something in the hardware.
Right.
Let me look in the hardware real quick.
Yeah. I'll see if Skype's just blasting me coming back.
And now that I'm out of that, the settings, is it still loud?
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Okay.
Let's see.
We're coming back in 60. You guys need more time, or should that be enough?
No, we're good.
We're nitpicking now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just fixing that. Let's see. I brought yours down on my end a little bit. I just feel like it's a processing issue, maybe. Yeah. How you're clear, everyone else. Yeah, it's there's something. Yeah, it's all on the YouTube feed. Yeah, it's also on mine. Thank you, CJC25. Thanks very much. Yeah, I know it's Johnny and the callers on that side. It's new cam, new tech issues. Welcome to California. Seriously. Hey, I got him in there. That was the one step forward, right?
Yeah. And we did not plan like way ahead on this. This all started with a text about 16 minutes before we went on. He's like, "Hey, good morning. What's your Skype name?"
Mm-hmm.
But then when you opened Skype, did you just see me in there? Because I found you right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was on looking for you. I was typing you in. So
because I had it wrong. You know, I was so happy with myself. Like you did.
Yeah. See, it seems to be like ragged in there for some reason. Yeah.
That sounds
Welcome back to the
processing
Hal
weird.
Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. Now time for the happy ending. Yay!
Wow, we have just blazed through this show, and we got so many more callers on the line. Let's get to them, Devin. Who do we have?
Hal, can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Back now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was saying, who do we have on the line?
Next, we have Dave out in Arizona.
Oh, that's so much better now.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Dave, go ahead.
Hey, so this isn't as funny as some of the other entries, but if you really kind of think about it, it probably takes the number one spot, even with like sub A, sub B, sub D.
Sure.
And that is all the things that he's put Jared Kushner in charge of fixing.
Yes, I agree.
That's a heck of a list.
Yes, using Jared as a solve-it-all. Yeah.
Correct.
Putting him in charge of Middle East peace. I mean, how much more ridiculous? When you've got Haim Saban mocking Jared Kushner to his face in Israel on national television, you know, like who'd you put together in your peace deal? Bunch of real estate guys? Like, it was brutal. You're absolutely right.
And now COVID-19 supply procurement is under.
That's right.
Yeah.
As part of his portfolio.
Which is, by the way, he has taken, supplies that the states have ordered. You know, basically Jared's job is to swoop in on behalf of the federal government and steal the stuff from whoever they are, right off the docks in foreign countries where they've ordered them. Just come in and procure things. States are hiding things from Jared's little weird, task force, strike force. Yep. And that in and of itself is just insanity that the states are having to. Yeah. Go ahead.
I got one thing to float to you. It was a few days ago. I was talking with my daughter, and it was when we had first heard that some of the problem with the COVID illness is abnormal blood clotting.
Yes.
And my daughter said, "Well, I wonder if the increased rate of sickle cell in African American communities might have something to do. All the other stuff too. But is anyone, do you know, looking at like?"
No, well, sickle cell would be very specific. Yeah, no. I mean, sickle cell is not ubiquitous in the black community, and I don't know that they've had a direct. That would be a fairly, that would be considered a comorbidity that has an effect. Dr. John Campbell talks a lot about vitamin D being a massive aspect because Americans in general, average American is 42% deficient in. 42% of Americans are deficient in vitamin D. That number is double that in the African American community, and it's 76 or 72% in the Latino community. And largely it has to do with the fact that white skin the only reason people have white skin is because as human beings migrated away from the equators and the like sub-Saharan Africa, and we broke out of that area and went way north. People get whiter the farther north you get, largely because the skin starts paling, so it absorbs more UV light so that it can produce more vitamin D. In heavy sunlight, you would overproduce, and so your body fights back against that. It's one of the reasons it gets darker and stays darker. Right. If you're dark-skinned and you live in a cold area like Chicago or Detroit or New York City or some of these areas, your skin might not produce enough vitamin D naturally, so supplementation is more important. Now, that's his theory. And it's one of the things he wants everybody to kind of look into. Ultimately, it's a simple fix. Get your vitamin D levels checked and make sure you're getting enough. Especially if you live in a place where people get seasonal affected disorder, where you know that's, you know, because if there's SAD in your area, then most people are also vitamin D deficient because of the lack of sunlight and all that kind of stuff. Plus, we're staying indoors. We're staying out of the sun. We've been using tons of sunscreen since basically the early 90s. And a lot of people in the move away from dairy, which happened at the same time, stopped drinking milk. And that was one of our one areas of vitamin D supplementation that a lot of people got. And they didn't start supplementing like almond milk and all the other things with those vitamins until later. So, until recently in the last 5 or 6 years. So people are deficient in that. That's one, and vitamin D is is the vitamin that most helps you when you boost your immune system in dealing with respiratory illnesses. So that's his theory. Like I said, I think there's a lot to it. I'm not a doctor, but it seems to me the simple solution would be make sure your vitamin D levels are up, and that will have an effect on it as well. So there you go. Yeah.
Hey, just wanted to say, I love your great addition on the Sexy Liberal Network, and when I can't catch you live on WCPT, I do like a back-to-back on Sexy Liberal, you and Stephanie.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that. Yes, a reminder that we are on the... Yeah, thanks for reminding me to pimp that out. We are on the Sexy Liberal Podcasting Network as well as the Hal Sparks Radio Podcast Mega Worldwide. And so, yeah, thanks for reminding me of as well. And by the way, this is just for Chris Lavoie, real quick. You know, now more than ever, we're all thinking about our hygiene. We're washing our hands, sneezing into our arm. But we're still taking a huge carrier virus with us everywhere we go, and that is our phones. Phones are a vector for disease, and we rarely clean them. We are constantly touching our phones with our hands and even pressing them to our faces, which for people who still do that. And so you have to take your cleaning your phone seriously. So you might have heard about this on Steph's show, the Clean Phone Pro sanitizer, where you put your phone in it, and it sanitizes it with UVC light. It uses medically proven UV light to clean your phone. By the way, do not insert this in your body or put your hand in the device.
I kind of like the sound of it.
It's a terrible idea. It kills 99.99% of all bacteria that comes in contact with your phone. It's better than wipes.
In there.
Nope. Do not wiggle it. You cannot fit in this. There's not a giant coffin-sized version of this. But it is great for your phone. It's better than wipes. It's safer for your device. Clean Phone Pro gets every inch of your phone clean with 9 high-powered UVC lights, dedicated wireless charging pad on top of the chamber. You can sanitize your phone while charging it. Use the Clean Phone Pro as your go-to charging station anytime. Fully removable top means it's easier to fit for more items and larger items. So you can just set it down on top of it like that. Go to thecleanphone.com today and get one for just $89 and free shipping when you use the code SEXYLIBERAL in all caps. SEXYLIBERAL, all run together. Yeah, if you're serious about hygiene, time to get serious about cleaning your phone. Use the code SEXYLIBERAL. Go to thecleanphone.com. Yay! Look, I did a spot for Chris.
You totally did.
Like a pro and everything. Can I clean my disinfectant syringes with it? I don't know. Do not ask me with those things. I'm going to do an Alpo commercial next. And Build-A-Bear. I can't wait to be big time so I can do Build-A-Bear. Let's take a couple more callers because I think we got a few minutes left. Who do we have, Devin?
Next we have Jay.
Excellent. Hello, Jay. If that is your real letter.
Hello, Hal. How are you?
I'm good. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Space Force.
Yes, Space Force. Right. To militarize. Yeah, because we were running out of things to blow up on Earth. So Space Force. Yeah, we had seen some folks in the chat room, I think, throw that one around as well. I wasn't. Now, do you think it's a solution for something in space? I'm sure he thinks he knows more about space than anyone. But what do you think he suggested the Space Force for? I have a theory. I want to hear yours.
I actually have no idea. I'd love to hear yours.
I think
that is
he
very
was
honest, Jay, and probably the right answer.
Yeah, first of all, I think it was BS, but I think it's a legacy thing. I think he knows that basically his name is tainted forever, and he looked at Nixon or Johnson and their impact on the space race, and decided, everybody knows that Nixon was impeached, but he also did like a couple other things that is, they've got his name on it. So it's basically him just peeing in the corners of the government, so that his legacy isn't all garbage. And Space Force sounds like something that will last a long time.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, because if he created Sea Force, it'd be like, well, isn't that just the Navy? Isn't that just another version of the Navy to explore the deep water? So space, we're going to be in space for a long time.
This is another version of the Air Force,
Yeah, well, they already had the division. They just named it. It's a branding, which is basically his entire career. He hasn't built a new building since the late 80s. He now gets in business with people and puts his name on buildings to make them look like, great for new money Russian idiots who want to, hide some money in another country, in Azerbaijan or Miami, and that's what he does. That's,
Exactly.
So this is Space Force is a branding exercise. It's wag the dog in space. And Brandy in our chat room says he saw Armageddon and thinks he can drill asteroids. I think he just likes the idea of, he probably got the idea of nuking hurricanes from that movie as well. So, but appreciate the call. I think we got time for one more. See if somebody can add to the list. Let's see. He's probably going to come up with Space Wall before we know it. But militarizing our northern border, that's pretty stupid. We'll see. But who do we have, Devin? Who's got something for the list?
For the list, next would be Roosevelt's.
Excellent. Oh, good.
Oh,
hey,
I like Roosevelt.
Gotta go.
Yep. Hey, Roosevelt.
Hey, how you guys doing today? Hey, listen, I think I got two, maybe three.
Okay.
And two of them related to China. Remember when he said that he stopped the flights in China in late January? However,
yes.
He left Europe wide open, and according to Governor Cuomo, two-thirds of the infected came from Europe. And back in November, his intelligence knew and notified Israel that the virus was growing in China. And they didn't pay any, his administration didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah, Johnny, did you know about that one?
No.
Yeah, so there was the Jerusalem Times wrote an article last week that said that they found out that the Trump administration had let Netanyahu's administration know that they were to prepare for a pandemic, and they had this contact happened in November of last year. While they were going, nobody could imagine. No one could imagine these types of things. Excellent points, Roosevelt. We're at the end of the show. Fantastic. We'll talk to you again. Thanks for calling in. It's the House Parks Radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk. We're here every Saturday, 9 to 11 Pacific Time, 11 to 1 Central, noon to 2 Eastern Time, and in the middle of the ocean. Eastern Time. Oh, and in the middle of the ocean. Oh, that's an echo. All right. Anyways, thanks, Devin. You guys stay safe. We love you. You guys stay safe. We love you. Bye. Bye.
Take care.
Yeah. There we go. Signing off on there. Okay. Shoo. My poor computer. Just ice skating uphill today, trying to do this. Rob, if it wasn't for you, the show would have not even happened today. Rob Glenn, thank you, sir. Just a little. Rob's a Patreon supporter, but he was the one who fixed our computer situation. So yeah, so we run the show off this one, and I've been taxing the hell out of this thing, which is why I got the GPU thing coming in to try and make up, to like take some of the heavy lifting off of it. And now, yes, we're back to private time. This is so nice. And there's not going to be, at least in the current schedule, There is not going to. I've been thinking of getting you a desktop since you're at home now. Oh, thanks, Rob. The new Mac desktops are insane. It would have to be a PC desktop just for streaming that it just sits and cooks. Would be the only value for it, because I like the new Macs. I'm salivating over them. The new Mac desktops are gorgeous, but they're insane. They're like, by the time you trick them out, they're like 10 grand. And like, what are you, out of your mind?
Bro.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's really silly. So Jared's sister was selling visas to wealthy Chinese for $250,000. That sounds like one of his solutions. I want to get you a PC with a 2080 TL in it. All right, the year 2080? I don't know what that means, but I trust you.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. When will the Patreon Zoom chat be? That's a good question. We should do that today, since we're not going to have a. I agree. Then you can go and Vec. Oh, okay, that actually works. That's very helpful. That's why I built a PC. Only reason, love Macs. Yeah. I do Macs for all the graphic aspects, but outputting it, you can NDI output it. I can take this and output it to another computer and use that just for streaming. I started experimenting this. I have a fan running. I got 2 fans running in the room right now because this room cooks while I'm doing the show. It's insanity, and it's a much smaller room than Johnny's big library office.
Yes, this room is cavernous.
Yes, it's good. I mean, vocally, it's got to have a lot of slap back in it.
It truly does.
Totally. What's the kitty's name, Johnny Million? They're asking you.
Flora. Her name is Flora. Flora.
Oh, is that where she spends most of her time?
Yeah,
Flora.
in the fauna.
In the fauna? In the flora and the fauna? Yeah. Space Force logo is, it's ripped off from the Star Trek logo. That would be one of them. Ripping off the Space Force logo from Star Trek.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Although I feel like these are just, again, dumb things that he's done. I really want this to be about.
Technically, some of these aren't solutions, so we need to be picky.
Patrons, this means wah. That's right. It's just easier to run most games on PC too, among other things. Well, that's true. I don't even game on PC. That's another level of craziness. Yeah, because I
Xbox or PS4.
Xbox, but I have a PS4 downstairs that I have the VR thing on that I've had since it started, and I never really got into using it. And then Creed game came out, and I love it. Like it's as good as doing the Insanity workout.
Oh wow!
Because it's physically it's nuts. Because you have to train between fights, you have to run, and then you have to punch and dodge and all this stuff, and then you do the actual fight.
I never even heard of that one.
It's
all
great.
VR stuff.
Yeah. And you're using the little batons, and you've got the mask thing on. It's pretty great. How the presidential symbol from Russia? Oh, it's the same thing too. Yeah. Johnny's sound is still really bad. I know. Why is that? That's so weird. Hold on. We'll figure it out. I don't know what that choppiness is or where it started. How about this? 1 second. Mute that. Open this. How's that? Speak, Johnny.
Check 1, 2.
Nope, that's still coming from that. So that's definitely a digital artifacting aspect.
Yeah, maybe I should have just reconnected after all.
Maybe I should.
But we'll figure it out next week.
Yeah, we will. This is like I said. We'll get it smoother. We're chipping away, but we got you in.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You still use an Xbox controller, not the keyboard, not a real PC gamer. I see, yeah. Headphones, he was clearer. Yeah. I mean, but for the audio drag, I mean, technically speaking, we could use the clean feed. I don't know, but it was choppy from that side too. It might just be that I'm just overworking the whole damn thing. That might be it. I might just be like, I've got so many things up and running. Because here's the thing, I have to replace the camera because it's I started using a DSLR because the camera quality, but it shuts off every 30 minutes because it only plays unless it's being told that it's working. Ecamm is genius in that they put something in there that allows you to see it via USB. So you can hook up any Canon camera via USB and it sees it.
Oh, wow.
Which is great and uses it as a webcam. It's incredible. But you can only do limited stuff with Ecamm like this. You can't do the other
I
stuff I
gotcha.
like to do with it. So if I want to run another program, I either have to keep turning the camera back on and off to back up, or I've got to run Ecamm in the background, keeping it awake, or the EOS utility, and that takes a draw of video from it, and it's just like it's insanity. So, and the bandwidth statistics on this, like, I gotta say, Ecamm kills it on the bandwidth. Like, it figures it out. So whatever the problem is, it might be loopback freaking out because it's getting too many sources, or I've got somebody looping back on themselves and they're not supposed to, or I tried to put that together and then it got all panicky or whatever. You heard this quote. Hold on, let's see if you can hear it. You didn't hear that one this week?
No, but I did hear the digital artifact as that was coming to me. It was like
that's what's happening with this other stuff. So I'll check into it. I'll figure out what it is. I've always got something to work on afterwards.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get to the rest of my crazy weekend.
I love that idea. Take care of yourself, and I adore you, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you and give you a genuine hug sometime in the near future.
Same to you.
And be safe, and we will. I'll just hang out with the chat afterwards, and just we'll miss you together. That's just what we'll do. It's gonna happen.
All right, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm switching there, and then I'm hanging up on you because that's how that works. Bye. Okay. Cool. Whoop boop. Excellent. Yeah, I think what it is partly is like because it's getting obviously my audio's fine and this shot's totally fine. The issue I think in a lot of ways is very possibly just that I have Skype coming up and then I'm using Skype twice, so I am using all these extra things. Where'd that go? Where'd you go? There you go. All these, extra elements. And if you use a signal twice, that's the rough part. Mask edges, that didn't work. Meow. Okay. Little bit of artifacting. I have to bring my fade level up a touch. That'll work. Whoops. This is, by the way, here's my impression of Star Trek using just a slider. Oh no, I'm dying. In the middle. It doesn't go all the way, obviously. But yeah. Yes, vaping with the... Yeah, I saw the vaping one. I am not... yeah, so... banning vaping makes kids want to vape more. It was banning flavored vapes, though. You're only half a man. Yeah. I'm half the man I used to be. I talked to Tuff, who sent me the CD for you because they listen to your Band 01. He wanted to tell you you have an amazing voice, so that's why I had... Oh, thanks, Amy. I have not... was the lung damage actually... Oh, my God. Yeah, well, think about the vaping thing while they were trying to get this up, just insanity that he was trying to close down vaping and then reopen it. This was his one attempt at being parental, and then what ended up happening, people who vape and smoke are in bigger danger. Is Hal wearing pants or shorts? I'll never tell. There's still a sticker on the bottom of this? There is. That's funny. I'm wearing jodhpurs. I love the Biden Me Too blitz call that we got in the vain attempt to drag that out. Yeah, nice try. The answer is no. Bye. Did Trump bail in the weekend briefings? Yeah, he's not having one today. At least he says he isn't. He's done this before. Yeah, well, the Second Amendment one, that's just a threat, basically. I'm talking about the stuff where, alligators in a moat and nuking hurricanes and, you know, solving your lie with a Sharpie. Vaping is the best way. He's recommending vaping flavored Lysol. Why do people vape? Because if they're burning a building, you'd run out from getting burned, but then you'd promote smoke in your lungs. I've always wondered that. Well, vaping is water vapor, not smoke, which is why they were kind of touting it as being healthier. Yeah, smash the like, everybody. Give us a thumbs up, please. Appreciate it. I'm wearing my NASA shirt today that I got in Huntsville. Welcome back. I understand that. He is lemon Lysol is cooler. Is it? Does it make a good beverage? By the way, I don't know why I have changed the settings on the alert box thing several times, and it, for whatever reason, does this work? There you go. Yeah, for whatever reason, yeah, I had to mute it because they were just too darn loud. But you know, every week I'm gonna try. Until I can get a producer to work with me, I'm just gonna spend all my free time upping the effects and the stuff that I can do, and in every way that I possibly can, try to get people to have a little more eye candy and stuff in the show and bring you guys into it more and that kind of thing. Oh, the Muslim ban, right? That wasn't a Muslim ban. Hold it, fellas. I'm afraid you're just too darn loud. That was from Back to the Future, and it was Huey Lewis who said that line. Oh, thanks, Amy Wright. I appreciate that. It's nice to be seen. It's a little weird being sequestered away like this, I have to say. I'll produce you. Can I do it from Panama? I don't know. It's thank you, Ginger. Yay. If you want more eye candy, just go topless. Watch out. Look out. It's going to be... Yeah. It's quite possible. You're all the eye candy. Aw, you guys. In all seriousness, I like the idea of, trying to just I just want to build this into turnkey so that it's up and running the way we need it to, and there are elements I want to bring to the show, like playing clips and all that kind of stuff. And I had them all set up in the other software, and it just wouldn't work with Skype with Johnny. It was too choppy. So I moved over to here because that made it smoother, and then it was an audio issue. How long does your hair have to be to donate to Locks of Love? I think it has to be shoulder length at least. I am not in leopard print boxers. I don't wear boxers. Yeah, it's all just going to be... Today will be the mystery of what am I wearing from here down. Uh-oh. Gun show? Right. I've lost a little weight during the... and a little muscle bulk during the sequester. It's just part of it. Whatever. Oh, I see. That's what's... It should show this in here. I don't know why. All right. Work it out. It was showing the... for a short time, it was showing the icons. If you saw... You get more donations. I'm not a cam girl. Wearing from here down. I don't know. What am I wearing? I don't know. Cat hair. Yes, that's totally true. Brandy caught me. I'm covered in cat hair. This is true. I'm wearing, I can tell you, it's not an even... right. Wear chroma key green for a Trump shit show. I might get one of those... I need to get one of those chroma key, suits. That'd be a good time. Made pancakes and didn't burn them. I'm so excited, EO. Perhaps you will return to live theaters and stand up in 2021 because of Sister Act musical London event Apollo rescheduled for summer. I will be doing stand up before then, God willing. So we'll see. Thanks, Jacqueline. Al, we all know your professional stand up is illegal right now. You and the V-neck got to do what you got to do to put a. I see. Right. You want me to wear the big weird low cut? Okay. All right. Well, I think that's in L.A. because that's where I wore it. I mean, Summer likes it. It's her favorite shirt. So, he's wearing Chud. Yeah. No, I blocked the door so the cats can't get in while I was doing this today. Wow. You got Trump's name on your stimulus check. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you can't test positive for drugs if you want to donate your hair. Technically, he's doing stand-up now. We just have to watch the Flapper Zoom shows when they pop up. That's true. I will be doing another one of those. I'm not sure when we're going to schedule that, but that's coming up for sure. And now that the Hunger Games. I'm in District B19. Can't Steph loan you a mook or two? No. She's very proprietary with her mookiness. You can't just loan mooks out like that. Yeah, so we'll be doing some more live comedy though. Don't worry about that. And I even have auditions to do with this kind of premise that we're gonna open up and be able to shoot again sometime. Stimulus check is your own tax dollars, folks, not from Trump. Exactly. This guy who dropped $75,000 on a bucking bull. So Hal, if you want to buy one, you'll be set back a lot. I see. Well, yeah, I hope it bucks well. It's not Hunger Game. It's Battle Royale. Right. We need comedy. I agree. Lost a small bit of weight too. Eating less is stretch food. Less shopping interactions. Totally true. And it'd be one of those things like I see people going like, I've been snacking so much. I'm like, nah. I have to remind myself. How am I going to do more Stephanie Miller? Yes, I am. I will probably be on this week. How you're a cam dad. Oh, yeah, it's like, so dad bod, cam dad? Sure, something along those lines. Had to do an after seminar on how to conduct auditions online so we could keep going with casting. Yeah, I saw the notice for that, but I was like, well, I have all the camera stuff set up anyways, and I'm fine with that. They have a lot of rules on shooting, and I was like, that's kind of a jerk move. You should be able to do your own stuff. Like, if you can shoot it nicer than, shoot it like a real scene, you should go ahead. Who cares? Yeah, it's not a stimulus. This was a stimulus like sticking a folded napkin under an uneven table is carpentry. That's exactly right, Pamela. Yeah. I try to make up for it. It's true. Thanks, Amos. Blueberries are a good time. Hal, you're so good on Steph. Your brain must be overheating from the humor chip. It's funny because I always envy how quick she is with calls, but I just can't bring myself to do it. But I'm always impressed by that when she does it. Yeah, that's exactly like, hey, I'm a carpenter. What'd you do? I folded up a paper menu and stuck it under the corner of the table. Like, it's a stimulus. Ridiculous. Thanks, Rob. Got to run for the day. Great. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you. I will pick your brain about, streaming situations. Remember when our parents got rebates because Clinton balanced the budget? Good times. Yeah. No kidding. Remember when government wasn't run by people who were suggesting that their suggestion of blasting people with UVC light and injecting them with Lysol lemon pledge into their lungs was not something a president had to walk back. I love the title. Oh, thanks. Jimmy Kill's Vegas Close set for broadcast. Seen comics on his show live from there. Bet you could do big internet shows there. That's a good idea. I was booked there for May, so it's very possible. Yeah, that's true. Her regulars understand that they're going to get hung up on. They're allowed to get a little long-winded on mine. By the way, anybody heard from Steve from the Gold Coast? Do we know if he's okay? I'm going to need to ask next week for him to call in to make sure. It's just a cleaning, right? Remember when Americans actually had a leader? Seriously. Pamela, remember when government was run by people who didn't hate government? No, because I grew up in Kentucky, and there's always been that. Oh, thanks, Richard. It's not so much a do as a don't. I didn't do anything. It's a not do. I'm wearing a didn't do. And didn't do nothing to my hair. I was going to send you a Starbucks gift card, but my sister asked me why I for a friend. Oh, I see. Well, I appreciate the thought. That's plenty. Why are the Republicans brainwashed by this monster? I don't know. I think they may be simply being blackmailed by him, a lot of them. I think they're in as deep a trouble as... Yeah, I think they're in as much trouble legally as he is, and they just hope that he'll be the battering ram that gets them through it. Thank you, Jacqueline. I do what I can. I certainly have never suggested anyone inject cleaning fluid into their lungs to see what happens, or say, what have you got to lose about an untested drug? No, I was thinking of sending you right. Yes. Well, I appreciate the thought, Gary. Yeah, you're right, Brad. I think that all the stuff that, you're like, why does they back him? Why are they so supportive of him? They used to be so decent. It's because they're being blackmailed to do the same. But like, Putin has called markers on a ton of these folks. Yeah, we should. We'll jokingly refer to Biden as 45 when he gets in. Kentucky voters are not dumb; they did go blue this time, but they had to go through Bevin before they went there. That's the rough part of. I grew up there; my family's there. I know it. There's no press conference today. He bugged out. Although, like I said, they said he's bugging out. Let me check. Because let's see. Presidential, President daily schedule. I can't bring myself to sign up for it. There it is. Yeah, no. So he's got 3 o'clock his time. He's got a phone call with Catholic leaders and educators. And that's it. That's all for today. The in-house pool is supposed to be there at 2 for whatever reason. I don't know why. It says in-house pool call time, which is the press pool that follows him. And then 3 o'clock, he's got this phone call with the Catholic leaders and educators, which is closed to the press. That's it. That's all he's got today. By the way, we are at 53,243 deaths. And 945,249 cases. Like the next, like they were saying, like this week was going to be the worst of it. I think the next 2 weeks are going to get awful. And then there's a 2-week delay on all these openings that they're doing. Yeah, we'll definitely hit 1 million cases by Monday, and that's just testing. We already have that many. Yeah. I did not do the Zoom last week because I couldn't get it to work with the new update, but now it works. So if you guys want to do one later on this afternoon when we would have normally done the get-together, we can do that. That would be lovely. Oh, my God, how are you there with Mitch? He started as the senator in, I think I was in middle school. Yeah, so yes. Okay, great. I'll do that for the patrons. If you guys want to do the Zoom gathering today, I'll do that today at 2:00 my time, which is when we would normally start that, if that works. Yeah. Yeah. The case stuff today, like this is just getting brutal, and the number. I mean, it's been brutal all along, but like. My concern is a lot of these folks, like people just get blurry about the numbers once they get big, and you start going, when's it going to hit 60? When's it, it becomes a marker for that kind of thing. And 4 p.m. Panama time, I think so. Basically, in 2.5 hours. Yeah. And like the protesters all the protests that happened over the last few days. 2 weeks from now, we start seeing the effect of them. If there was a single contagious person there, how many people they affected, how many of those people carried it, how many needed physical intervention, medical intervention, rather. Yeah. One of the deaths was my ex, Jennifer White. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Brandy. God damn it. So, I mean, and again, this is why I mock the man so relentlessly and why I'm going to focus on being funny about it, because, no amount of sadness in me is going to bring back the dead, and shaming this idiot seems to be the only thing that has any effect. The more embarrassed he gets, the better. Will Pence certify the election when Biden wins? Will Trump voluntarily leave office? Trump will stampede out of the White House. Pence will follow him. They will be so sick of it because by then it's not going to get better. This is going to be a rough summer, and there's going to be a lot of horrible stuff going on throughout the whole thing. Like, he's not going to want when this comes back in the spring next year. Trump's already got a foot out the door. Yes, and DC2257, we do see you. I see you. Yeah, I'm with John Maloney on this one, guys. I think there's a very strong chance that Trump, once he loses, he leaves the White House and spends the rest of his presidency at Mar-a-Lago going, you guys take care of it. I'm done. And I honestly. And the only thing that could keep him in office is that they could, he could work out a pardon of himself. When Trump loses, he'll resign so Pence can pardon him. Yeah, it's entirely possible. I'm not afraid of the MAGA followers if he leaves and gets voted out as much as everybody else is. I think that's a paper tiger as well. There might be a single solitary nutcase, but on there's no mass level, especially as he's gotten more embarrassing. There might have been an argument for like 2 years ago, but the gild has fallen off the lily. I don't think an impeached president can be pardoned. It's an interesting thing. Depends on he can't be pardoned for the things he was impeached for, but if it's other stuff. He can't be pardoned for the things he was impeached for? I'm not sure about that. But I do think that the other stuff that concerns him more are the issue. Yeah, the National Guard can handle the MAGA folks. And when faced with shooting cops or soldiers from our own country, I think a lot of them stand down, I'm more concerned with, like, Dorr and TYT fomenting some violent individuals than I am with those crowd, actually. Can't be pardoned for state crimes, only federal. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's a lot of single, random shooter types that would do stuff anyways if it wasn't their workplace or whatever. They have so much law to fix in the future. The president and the Republican Party has been so freaking lawless. The spirit of the law means nothing to them. All about loopholes. They build nothing. Agreed, Can't Stop Lying. And I think what that'll do is ultimately that will be the task of the next presidency. It's one of the reasons why Biden's been talking to Warren so much lately, is specifically about that. You know, they've been talking back and forth about, you know, how to fix these holes in it. I took a lot of crap on Twitter saying that the networks should cover the briefings. I knew they would expose Trump's lunacy. Yeah, I mean, I think you just don't let them roll without somebody breaking in and going, wait, what the hell, like I'm doing. Like I would never stream it on my site and just let it go. Excuse me. It's just madness. So how about this? Guys, I'm going to sign off now. Do a little bit of cleanup. Make sure the audio is fine. Make sure my Zoom thing is set up properly. And then I'll see you guys at 2 o'clock my time, Patreon folks. And I will post a link there if you don't already have it. So there you go. So all the Patreon supporters and all that kind of stuff, I will be seeing you in person and in a couple of hours, and I'm going to go make some eggs and veggie bacon for my girl because it's Saturday and I need to make her some food. Yeah, and it was really sad that Warren's brother died in this too. And thank you, I'm Not My Thoughts. I appreciate your input today as well. You got 2 solid ones on the list right out of the gate, so yeah. Thank you, Amy Wright. Absolutely. Yeah, now turns out covering it was a good thing. Yeah, run it down, man. You want you do not let that stuff slide. You just don't. So yeah. So I will see you guys later on. Have a beautiful day. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you so much for just hanging out with us. It's always great, especially as we're all sequestered out. It's nice to have a community to look forward to every day. So I want to thank you guys just for being here. And I will see you later on. Cheers.